सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Om. In the last class, I introduced the first samskara, that is garbhadhanam. The samskaras done for the refinement of the jiva, the individual, for the upliftment of physical, mental, intellectual and spiritual growth. The Hindu samskaras are meant for the spiritual attainment, that is moksha. With that intention only, all these samskaras we have to see. Because in Vedic culture, everyone has to attain moksha is the main purushartha. Materialistic achievements, accomplishments, we never much give importance, even though artha, kama and dharma, all three are there as purusharthas, but they are all only supportive for the attainment of ultimate moksha. With this angle only we have to listen to this subject, samskaras. Then only it is relevant and we can grasp properly. Otherwise, for today's situation, times and Vedic time, there is a lot of difference. Therefore, we have to prepare our mind from Vedic angle, Shastric angle. Then we can see the significance of these samskaras. So that mind preparation is very important. And I said garbhadhanam, the first samskara, conception ceremony. At 5 stages I introduced in the last class. They are called Panchagni. 5 fires. Swarga Agni, the jiva, after leaving this previous body, travels to Swarga. There the jiva stay for some time and come to Megha Agni. Every stage we see it as Agni, Homa Kunda like. Why? The jiva is the oblation in that fire as it were. It is not exactly fire. Megha Agni or Parjanya Agni. Through the rain, third stage, jiva comes down through the rain to the earth. Oshadhi. So Prithvi is the Agni. Once he comes to the Oshadhi, plant kingdom, through food it enters the father's body. Who enters? This jiva enters the father's body. That is the 4th stage. When jiva enters the 4th stage, that father's body, that jiva is in the form of retas, Purusha Bijam. That Purusha Bijam, the retas, later in 5th stage enters the mother's womb. The jiva enter its mother's womb. That means husband transfers the Purusha Bijam, Purusha Bija Rupa Retas, who is none other than Jiva, enters the mother's womb. So, husband transfer that jiva into patni's womb, wife's womb. So this is called garbha dhanam, the transference of the jiva from father's body to mother's body. That is patni's body or wife's body. The mother means the baby's mother, the jiva's mother. So this is called garbha dhanam. That is the fifth stage. That is also seen as Agni. Mother's womb is also seen as Agni, where jiva lives for 9 to 10 months. At that time, garbha dhanam, conception time, when the mother of that jiva becomes, that is called pregnancy. Garbha dhanam. Mundakopanishad pramana is also there for these 5 Agnis. In 251, second chapter, first section, 5th mantra of Mundakopanishad says, Tasmad agnis samidho yasya suryaha somat parjanyaha oshadhayaha pruthivyam puman retaha sinchati yoshitayam bahvi praja purushat samprasutah. Upanishad says about all these 5 fires, 5 Agnis or Panchagni. This I introduced in the last class. At that time, when the jiva enters the mother's womb, there are some prayers, mantras, chanting. It is a ritual, Garbhadhana ritual. So this ritual, Garbhadhana rituals with the prayers and mantras, for what sake? When she became pregnant, why they have to chant some mantras, some prayers? Because mantras and prayers are meant for the sake of physical well-being of that child who is in the mother's womb, who has entered the mother's womb. Then for physical health, mental health, emotionally the child must be healthy, intellectual health sake and spiritual health sake. All these prayers and rituals in the form of prayers and mantras, chanting and some sort of offerings will be there. So this Garbhadhana ritual performed at the time of conception. And one more point we have to note, here Purusha and Shakti. Purusha and Shakti both are very important, means Purusha and Stri. Stri is known as Shakti here. As Shankaracharya says in Saundarya Lahari, first prayer verse, Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Prabhavati Shakta Prabhavitum Nachedevam Devo Nakhalu Kushala Spanditumapi Shiva Shaktya Yuktaha Yadi Bhavati Shaktaha Prabhavitum. So Shiva and Shakti both, the power holder and power, both are very important. Shiva and Shakti, we consider it as Purusha and Stri, as this Shiva and Shakti. Therefore, who is superior? Mother is superior or father is superior in bringing the child? Both are superior. There is no one is superior and one is inferior. Our Shastra never looked one is superior or one is inferior. Both are equally complementary, supporting the baby's birth, the child's birth. So this is the support. Purusha and Prakriti both are very important for the birth of a child. No child come individually only through the father or only through the mother. That is the Purusha and Stri, Shiva and Shakti. That is the idea presented in our Shastras. Then I gave 5 angles. Spiritual angle, if you see also, the child has to get moksha. For that purpose, the jiva has to attain moksha. Spiritual angle and individual angle I mentioned. Family angle, if you see also, Upanishad says one should not break the chain of family chain. One should not break the family lineage chain. That means one has to continue the lineage, children, grandchildren, for the sake of Dharma, Praja, Abhivriddhyartham. This is the intention. So in our culture, simple, this conception also seen as a sacred ceremony, sacred activity only. Nothing is materialistic for us. Attitude, the concept, bhavana, we have to see behind that. And social angle also, my child has to contribute to the dharma, for the protection of dharma. So mother, father desire that. The creation given by the Lord, let me contribute for this through my family, through my children, grandchildren. That is the intention. That is called dharma drishti. Our ancestors never had kama drishti. Kama drishti is very, very, very feeble. Very feeble. But dharma drishti is only 99%. That is why spiritual prodigies, musical prodigies, every one prodigy like they used to born, with noble qualities. With noble qualities and virtues, the child blossom. So this is the idea behind this Garbhadhanam. At that time, some herbal medicines are also given to the mother for the sake of mother's health. Because the child health depending upon mother's health. According to Ayurveda also, some herbs are given to the mother. So mother's health is very important. Physical health, her mental health, emotional health. The child has to be wanted, welcomed, acknowledged, and parents' mentality, that means mindset, influence the child. Very much influence the child. Keeping all this, our ancestors, our rishis, look at that angle and designed all these samskaras from Gautama Sutras, Kalpa Sutras. Then I said I will tell you what type of child, if you want, how the child should be, physical complexion and intellectual wise. Upanishads gives some suggestions also. I will tell you in the next class, I said. So I would like to introduce those mantras in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In the last portion it comes. I read the mantra and I will explain the meaning of that mantra. See, we have to look at it objectively. Whether it is beneficial to me or not, personally we should not think. We are Sanatanis. We belong to Sanatana Dharma. Personal, subjective attitude we should not see. We have to see it in a broad spectrum. How great my Sanatana Dharma is. How much it is taking care of that human beings. That we have to see. Then only objectively, if I listen to this subject, I can enjoy and appreciate my Shastra. I should not look from the personal angle, my own individual angle, whether this is useful to me or not, whether to should listen or not, why to listen. All these things should not come in our mind. We have to appreciate how great our Shastra is. Then you enjoy the subject. All these are only for worldly people. No, it is not worldly people. If it is only worldly people, I, sannyasini, need not talk about this. Clear? This is for you to educate your children, your grandchildren, next generations. We want a healthy society. A dharmic society we want. Do we not have any responsibility on that? My moksha is not for my sake. My moksha is Atmano mokshartham jagat hitayacha. That we should keep in our mind. Atmano mokshartham, my moksha is for my dharma sake, my country's sake, for humanity's sake. Like that we should think. That is very, very important. Now let me read that mantra. Saha yaha icchet putraha me shuklo jayeta vedamanubhruvita sarvamayuriyaditi kshirodanam pachayitva sarpishmantam shrim sarpishmantram ashniyatam ishvaro janayitavai. The meaning of this mantra is this. He who wishes, what is that wish? May a fair complexioned son be born to me, who will be versed in one Veda and attain full longevity. Should have rice cooked in milk and with his wife eat it mixed with ghee. Then they would be able to produce such a son. Brihadaranyaka says. Then 15th another mantra, next mantra says, Atha yaha icchet putraha me kapilaha pingalo jayeta dvau veda vanubruvita sarvamayuriyaditi dadhyaudanam pachayitva sarpishmantam ashniyatam ishvaro janayitavai. What this mantra says, he who wishes, may a son be born to me with a yellow or brown complexion, who will be well versed in two Vedas and attain full longevity. Should have, those who desire that, should have rice cooked in curd and with his wife eat mixed with ghee. Then they would be able to produce such a son. This is one mantra. Another mantra says, Athayaha icchet putraha me shamo lohitaksho jayeta trin vedan anubruvita sarvamayuriyaditi udaudanam pachayitva sarpishmantam ashniyatam ishvaro janayitavai. This mantra says, he who wishes, may a son be born to me with a dark complexion and red eyes, who will be versed, that is well versed in three Vedas and attain full longevity. Should have rice cooked in water and with his wife eat it mixed with ghee. Then they would be able to produce such a son. This is one. Swamini, what about daughter? Only son you are talking. Next mantra says about daughter. So, Atha yaha icchet duhita me pandita jayeta sarvamayuriyaditi tilaudanam pachayitva sarpishmantam ashniyatam ishvaro janayitavai. This mantra says, he who wishes, may a daughter be born to me who will be a scholar and attain full longevity, should have rice and sesamum cooked together, and with his wife eat it mixed with ghee. Then they would be able to produce such a daughter. These are not my words, but Brihadaranyaka Upanishad words. So Pramana is there. How beautiful our Shastra is taking care of us. So boy is also required, girl is also required. Both are important. So this is about Garbhadhanam. Then next samskara we will enter, that is Pumsavanam. What is Pumsavanam? I will explain the meaning, then I will give the purpose of this ritual and what are all precautions, medicines, mantras come here, that we will see. Mantras while doing Pumsavana I am not chanting, but the significance of this samskara I will explain. This second samskara is known as Pumsavanam. Here the male child wished by, desired by the parents, meant for the birth of that male child. So everybody wants or prefer male child first, in Vedic time especially. So that is there till today also. So Kalidasa says, he writes, Artho hi kanya parakiya eva. Daughter is always the wealth of somebody. So the meaning of that word is, daughter is always wealth of somebody, not to the same family. She will become somebody's family's wealth. That is what Kalidasa has said. Now I will give you the meaning of Pumsavana, second samskara. Samskara means refinement, a ritual performed at that time, when whoever wants that the child after conception, when the mother, that lady, wife is pregnant, let this baby or child be male child. Suppose they want. What they have to do? What is the meaning of that Pumsavanam? Pums means a male. Savanam means birth. Pums sakarantaha pullingaha puman pumansau pumsaha. So Pumsavanam, su dhatu, from it is derived from the su dhatu, to give birth. The birth of a male child is called Pumsavanam. Puman prasuyate ena karmana tat Pumsavanam. Pumsavanam is that rite, R-I-T, rite, that is samskara, by which rite a male child is give birth. That is called Pumsavanam. At that time, when they have such a desire, they perform certain rituals, they chant certain mantras. What is the purpose? Why they desire male child first? The purpose of desiring male child is, from the ritualistic angle, we see a male child is entitled to perform all Vedic rituals. A male child is entitled to perform all Vedic rituals. Then Putra is going to propitiate, that means next generation, perpetuate the family lineage of that family, particular family. So therefore, Putri is the perpetuator of somebody's family. Putri, girl, baby, girl child, is the she perpetuates somebody's family. Putra perpetuates that parent's family. So this is the Vedic angle. When this ritual or samskara to be performed, Pumsavanam, when they have to perform, the next point, According to Shastra, this is supposed to be done in the third month after conception. Because according to Shastra, at the time of third month alone, the formation of the child will take place. Until that time, child is in fluid form. It's a liquid form. In the third month only, the child gets solid form in the third month. Therefore, they perform that ritual in the month of, or in the third month of that conception. After conception, third month they perform. Who said all this? Sushruta tells in Sushruta Samhita. And Ayurveda, according to Ayurveda Shastra also, it is said, according to Ayurveda medicine. So he says, each month how the child grows. How the child grows, very interesting. Because we don't see with our eyes inside. Even though they show with machines. But directly you cannot see. How Shastra observe all these things. According to Ayurveda, the growth of the child in the mother's womb, 8 points I will give, one by one. First month, the child is in liquid form alone. The real form has not yet taken place, first month. Then in the second month, the child become a solidified mass form. Solidified mass form. Then third month alone, the sense organs, veins are going to be formed. Sense organs, that means eyes, ears, nose, etc. And veins, they are formed. And in fourth month, the head, hands and legs are formed. Legs, hands and head, they are formed in the fourth month. And in the fifth month, bones are formed. In the fifth month, bones are formed. Then in the sixth month, fingers, hair, mind and intellect supposed to be formed. Supposed to be formed means if that pregnancy is hale and healthy, then alone they form. Otherwise they cannot be formed. That's why I am telling supposed to be formed. This is in the sixth month. Then in the seventh month, prana and the nervous system supposed to be formed. In the seventh month, prana and nervous system. This is seventh step. Then in the seventh month. Then in the eighth month and ninth month, the baby will get the capacity to experience the pleasure and pain. The baby is able to experience pleasure and pain, that starting at that age only. That age means 8th month or 9th month, according to Shastra. So all these are according to Shastra. Don't compare with modern medicine. Let it be their modern medicine. But we are studying from Shastric angle. Since in the third month the child getting shape, that time this right, that means this Pumsavanam is done because the baby is getting the limbs. At that time only male child or female child can be decided. So you can choose that. That means the people who are going to get married and get children, they can plan in such a way, they can decide what type of child they want, male or female. Not only for male child, this ritual, but what type of child also. This ritual is done for male child, and what type of ritual, what type of child to be born, that also can be decided. how it should be, what type of nature, all these things can be, that is the intention of this Pumsavana performance. Okay, now I am going to, this is about the child growth, month by month. Now the role of rituals and Ayurveda. Because Ayurveda also we consider it as a Panchama Veda. It is also a Veda only. That's why Ayurveda we call it. So Vedic prayers are done for the birth of the healthy male child. There are separate prayers for that. I am not going into all those details. What prayers? The male child's sake, there are prayers they perform. With proper development, the child should born. For proper physical development, that means physical body, proper mental body, the mind also has to be healthy. Therefore, the mantras to be chanted for the vibration of such an atmosphere to be created, so that the child, the mantras influence the child in the mother's womb. So that is the intention. The whole atmosphere reverberate with the Vedic mantras. Once the atmosphere is reverberating with Vedic mantras, that will influence the baby in the mother's womb. And during this time alone, another particular special medicinal herbs are given to the mother. How they prepare, that is also a type of ritual. Liquid made out of banyan tree sprout. According to Ayurveda, banyan tree sprout has got a lot of medicinal values. That sprout of banyan tree they take and milk and they mix it and make it a liquid, and they have to pour that in the right nostril of the mother, that liquid, not drinking, but they have to put few drops in the right nostril of the mother if they want male child. So the right nostril of the mother they put, then the male child will take birth. So for the health of the mother also, for the child also, this liquid is given not only for male child, this is mainly for the purpose of to avoid abortion. To avoid abortion, this liquid influence the male child as well as to strengthen the uterus and the baby in the mother's womb. So the same medical benefits are also there. This is called Pumsavanam, a small ritual or samskara meant for spiritual healthy child. Remember, spiritual healthy child. That is the intention of performing this Pumsavana. So I consolidate all these points. So the parents desire for male child for the continuation of family lineage, number one. Why they want male child. And second point, in Vedic culture, the eldest son is more responsible in performing all Vedic rituals and duties connected to one's parents and ancestors. He is doing rituals which are connected to his parents and ancestors. That rituals can be done by only male child. So responsibilities in performing rituals as well as duties. Then thirdly, he is looked upon as a future support or future source of economic prosperity. The male child is seen as an economic support. Economically also he is a very source for the family and support for the family's prosperity. Supposed to, so those days they have all this. It does not mean girl child is unwanted. Don't think like that. So the male child has got his own importance, female child also has got her own importance. This is the samskara, not commonly practiced nowadays, but in a Vedic time it was very much practiced. Now I concluded this second samskara, that is Pumsavana. Now let us come to the third samskara, that is called Seemantonnayana. This is very popular, all of you know this. Seemantonnayanam or Seemantaha. The samskara is done when it is done in the 5th or 6th month of pregnancy. In the 5th or 6th month of pregnancy, this is the time where the child mental subtle personality will be formed. In the 5th and 6th month, mental personality is formed. This is very, very important because it is giving Viveka Shakti at that time. Even for moksha, person needs Viveka Shakti. Atma Jnanam, for Atma Vichara he has to do. For doing Atma Vichara, one needs Viveka Shakti. Therefore, there are certain rituals, mantras, prayers, that is known as in the form of Seemantonnayana. This is the ritual, third ritual. For example, because a Brahmana perform this ritual, Seemantonnayana, for that pregnant woman, with proper attitude, properly performed, that child also become a healthy child and a Brahmana child. Because father did Seemantonnayanam at the time of that ritual, because with proper attitude, properly done. That is very important. Then only the child become a real Brahmana. A Brahmana child will be born to a Brahmana when the ritual is done properly and with proper attitude. Please remember that. If that father is not performing or done without any rules and regulations, done with not properly done, suppose, without proper attitude, even though father is Brahmana, he cannot give a birth to a Brahmana child. Because the mind formation is taking place here. That's why father must have a reverential attitude, respect towards that samskara. And it has to be done properly. Not doing lavishly and spending and luxuriously is not the question. How much sastrically, with Vedic tradition you are performing, Vedic lifestyle you are leading, is the question. Brahmana Putra cannot become a Brahmana. When they are performed properly, only Brahmana can give birth to Brahmana child. Otherwise, that child can be an ordinary child if that is not done properly. Clear? Therefore, this is very, very important point because Viveka Shakti is growing there only. At that time, father and mother must have both, not one. Mother and father, that means pregnant woman and her husband, both must have highly reverential attitude. Dharma drishti must be there. Religious person and God-fearing person and a lot of respect towards rituals. That is very important. Now, what is the meaning of Seemantonnayana? Seema means boundary. Antaha means the end. The end of the boundary, the limiting line, is called Seemantaha. The end of the boundary or the limiting line is called Seemantaha. Unnayanam means what? Parting the hair. parting or making a line, husband take a comb and make wife's hair parting, making a part. Middle line, he draw that line. Drawing means separate the hair this side and that side. And unnayanam, that is called unnayanam, making this line of her hair. Making the line of her hair is called unnayanam. This is called hair parting ceremony. Seemantonnayana, hair parting ceremony. In Sanskrit we say Seemantam unniyate ena karmana tat Seemantam. Seemantam unniyate ena karmana tat Seemantam. That karma by which the Seemantam is done is called Seemantonnayanam or Seemanta karma, we can say. And this is the meaning of Seemantonnayanam. All of you know this. Now, and what is the purpose of doing this? That is given in our Shastra. We can find twofold purposes. We can look from various angles. One angle is spiritual angle. This spiritual angle, if when you see, the mind is formed at this time because mind is very subtle, and the subtle mind is having a subtle influence, either negative influence or positive influence. Therefore, there is a nice sloka. Mind is a very subtle thing that all negative forces may influence, because the child's mind is very weak at that time. Because child is growing, just that time forming. That mind is naturally weak. Grown-up people, mind is weak. What to talk of baby's mind when it is forming? So it is very weak. Therefore, the negative influence should not be there on the mind of that child when it is growing at that time. The shloka tells, Patnyaha prathamajam garbham astu kamaha sudurbhagaha आयांति काश्चित् राक्षस्यः रुधिराशन तत्पराः तासां निरसनार्थाय श्रियम् आवाहयेत् पतिः. I will explain. Then fourth line, सीमन्तकरणी लक्ष्मीः ताम् आवहति मन्त्रतः. In Kalikala, bringing children with a positive attitude is not so easy, very, very difficult. The child growing at that time, mind is weak, therefore the shloka tells the meaning is like this. Rakshasyaha, there are evil forces, they influence the baby's mind. That time, what they have to do, the Seemantam, they perform, the child mind will be enhanced positively, dynamically, the child mind will be protected from evil forces. So thoughts of the mother influence the child, and surroundings, what movies or serials, a lot of sounds going on outside, all will influence the mind of the child, weak mind of the child. Therefore, they give warning to mother also in her movements. Don't go here and there and read some books which are connected to Bhagavan. Read Ramayana, Bhagavata, like that they will say. And husband also should cooperate in her pursuit of doing prayers, chanting, puja, so that she can keep herself from the bad vibrations. That is why in Sandhya Kala, why they do prayers? Sandhya means what? Neither it is too dark nor too bright. In Sandhya Kala, all evil, dark, semi-darkness, all this called Rakshasa, Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha, and Shakini, Dhakini, so many, Sarpa, Vrishchika, scorpion, snakes, and Taskaraha, thieves, all move at that time, twilight. That is called twilight. It is not too bright, not too dark. At that time only all evil forces will move around in the atmosphere. At that time only we are lighting the lamp, going to the temple, chanting. All these we perform for that to avoid that evil forces. At that time, so the mother requests how that mother's thoughts influence the child. The prayer is done. Seemantonnayana in Saundarya Lahari also, what they did, they invoke Lakshmi Devi. They invoke Lakshmi Devi, that is when they put Sindura, Shankaracharya brings that idea here, that Lakshmi Avahanam, Pati, husband does the Pati Lakshmi Avahanam for a healthy child's sake. That shloka in Saundarya Lahari, Tanotu Kshemam Naha Tava Vadana Saundarya Lahari Parivaha Srotas Saraniriva Seemanta Saranihi Vahanti Sinduram Prabala Kavari Bharati Timira Dvisham Vrindair Bandi Kritamiva Navinarka Kiranam. Shankaracharya praised Lakshmi Devi, how so beautiful she is. When they do the parting the hair, they keep that kumkuma there. And this prayer, that shloka I read, not from Saundarya Lahari, this is Saundarya Lahari's, where Shankaracharya used that word Seemantakarani. So that kumkuma where they keep, they are invoking the Lakshmi on that place. They are invoking the Lakshmi on that place. What for? O Mother Goddess Lakshmi, please evade, please send far away all the evil forces. They should not come near my child. They should not come near my wife. So, husband, all people pray for her, mother. O Lakshmi Devi, protect the child, protect the mother. Not only evil forces you have to destroy, and you make the child also prosperous. When the child is born, the child should be prosperous child. So prayer towards Lakshmi, Lakshmi Avahati. There, that is the prayer done by the people, the family members. Husband has to remember all these things. So that is the intention of Seemantonnayana. Then at that time, husband tells his wife, I am going to do everything to you. He deliberately, loudly he has to say, I am going to do everything to you means what? Combing the hair also. Whatever you are doing, cooking, washing, cleaning everything. Today onwards, when she became pregnant, and that time Seemantonnayana day, husband says, I am going to do everything for your sake. But these are all not relevant nowadays, but some husbands are doing. But he has to allow her to do her sadhana. She should not have any strain, physical strain or mental strain. Okay, now if I talk all these things, how SWAMINI, all these possible nowadays, because pregnant women are going to office and doing all the work and all. I am not talking present day conditions, but how much the mother and father focusing on the child, that is very important. We should not take it as granted. You are the father and mother, both are responsible for the child's growth. Tomorrow, the child is not having proper ambience with proper atmosphere, is not grown up. And mother must be relaxed and calm and serene mind, spiritual mind, religious mind, with devotion. And father also must have same attitude, same devotion and same Shraddha Bhakti on that child, taking care of that child. So both of them have to take care of their thoughts also. Because husband's thoughts influence wife. Wife's thoughts influence the child in the womb. So the husband has to do so many things for her and giving emotional support for her. Love, affection, care, more and more care. Then her mind can be healthy, peaceful, relaxed. And she is spending her time more in that Bhagavat Chintanam, Bhagavat Prarthana. Then that child will listen when they born. Tomorrow they listen to the parents, whatever they say. That the type of child will born. They obey the parents. They respect parents. They will become astikas. Devotion towards the Lord also they will have. Because the child brought up like that in the mother's womb itself. Therefore, when the child is in mother's womb, it is very, very important to take care of the child. Not after coming out, after delivery, I take everything and I'll provide education and all these things, and I'll provide one flat for my son or daughter and gold, everything. Nothing doing. All this won't work. You are taking care of the child in the mother's womb itself. That is the child going to come out. Your son or daughter, how they are going to be decided in the mother's womb at the time of Seemantonnayana. Please remember, the more you listen, this is amazing. And how nice if a child born with Matru Bhakti, Pitru Bhakti, Daiva Bhakti, Desha Bhakti, Dharma, Abhivruddhyartham, then the parents will have a lot of peace and happiness. They can enjoy. Suputraha, Suputri, we can call. That parents will never have any complaint. My son is not listening to me, my daughter is not listening to me, they are not caring my words. All these problems won't come. If you have taken care in your womb itself, these problems will never arise, because you are deciding the character of the child. It's not a joke. Mother is the controller. Then father is the controller. Both of them invoke the Ishvara's anugraha, Ishvara Kripa. That's why many in our history we see in our Puranas, many children born after going to the temple worshipping the Lord, that Lord comes and bless them. That's why we keep the name also in Namakaranam comes, I will tell you. Devi Prasad, Lakshmi Prasad, he has a prasada from God. That sacred attitude, that sanctity, mental sanctity you can maintain when there is a spiritual vibration, religious vibration, mantras, all over mantras, pujas, Bhagavat Chintanam is there, no evil force can come. That children are only can protect Dharma. They can follow Dharma, they can protect Dharma, they can take care of parents and their children, next generation. That child will be blessed by all Devatas. So this is about Seemantonnayanam, very important ritual. Nowadays, this is very popular ritual. In Kathopanishad, this Garbhini, the Shishu, how it is taken care of, taken as an example. how this child is taken care of. This is taken as an example in Kathopanishad. That mantra tells Aranyor nihito jatavedaha garbhaiva subhruto garbhinibhihi. That Jataveda, fire is protected in that Arani just like the baby is protected in the mother's womb. Yamadharmaraja used this example. That is why while that mother is going, they are planning to desire a child. After conception, when the child is growing, the child has to be protected. Physically, mentally. The mother has to take a lot of herbal medicines and proper food, proper thinking, proper atmosphere. Everyone in the family should cooperate with her. Not one husband only. Whoever is there in the family, in-laws, mother, father, her father, mother and others must cooperate with her. That is very, very nice Seemantonnayana ritual, and for a nice healthy child can born and be a good citizen in the country, and Dharma can be propagated and get a spiritual child. No? Spiritual child, he becomes Atma Jnani, Mukta Purushaha. That is possible. Therefore, with this, I conclude Pumsavanam, second samskara is over, and third samskara, Seemantonnayanam, is also over. Now, we will enter the fourth samskara in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari.